Yo, what's up, fellas? My name is Patrouski. Good morning, good morning. Welcome back to another PokeMMO stream recap. And people ask me all the time, okay, I didn't really realize this till a minute ago before starting the stream, but people ask me all the time, how did you make your Pokeyen in PokeMMO Patrouski? How did you do it? And I usually just tell them, breeding for profit and, just consistent money-making endgame stuff, flipping, yada, yada, yada. But what I kind of forget... Yeah, someone in chat already noticed it. Oh snap, he's at the desk. I started every stream at this spot for like 2 years, man. Like 4 to 5 days a week. And then when I wasn't streaming, I was still doing this gym rerun every day for like 2.5 years. Like, I honestly kind of forget how long and consistent I did this gym rerun. Just making like 300k Pokeyen an hour, once a day, every day, for 2 to 2.5 years. And this really, this is the way to start building your capital in PokeMMO and start building your account. And I'm back to it. I'm kind of broke, guys. I'm at 4. I have a lot of investments, I'm not broke, but I'm broke, but not broke. Does that make sense? I have 4 mil Pokeyen, right? It's not a whole lot of capital, and I don't want to dip into selling my investments. And I got to make some more Pokeyen. So I'm going to jump back into gym runs today. I'm going to get back into making Pokeyen a fair bit today. I plan on doing gym runs, maybe a trainer run, probably a trainer run. And then I want to do training Pokemon, EV training, XP training for profit. This is all stuff that's pretty doable by intermediate players. This is not like end game only player activities, for example. And I'm excited. And the reason is because I know that March Mysterious Ball Madness is kind of going to run me dry. So I want to sustain, make some Pokeyen, do a little bit of shiny hunting along the way, and then we'll also shiny hunt later in the month. And the reason why I am switching up, I talked about March Mysterious Ball Madness last stream recap, but we're switching it up a little bit, fellas, because I just got reached out to yesterday for a Factor sponsorship. So there is now a Factor sponsorship live. I'm a big fan of Factor. I've been sponsored by them in the past. If you live an extremely busy lifestyle and you want to eat like home cooked meals or chef prepared meals, whether you have a keto restriction, high protein, which is what I enjoy when I get them, I really recommend Factor. It's just a really nice way to save time, energy, no dishes. People don't realize how much time you really spend when you make a meal. It's not just the cooking, it's going to the grocery store, the gas money, the cooking, the dishes, putting out trash. Like, there's a lot that goes into it, right? There's a lot more than people realize when you make a meal, and Factor takes care of all of that for you. It's a big convenience for a very fair price and 50% off using my link in the description. That's the big thing. Like, if it was full price, that's up to you. With 50% off, it's hard to go wrong trying it. Like, it's pretty hard to go wrong, at least trying it for one session, and it's the best way to support the stream. Genuinely, it is the best way to support the stream. Companies like Factor and HelloFresh are the most important thing to small creators, and they really allow us to do things that shouldn't be possible and allow us to be full-time when we probably wouldn't be able to otherwise. So it's a great way to support the stream. You get yourself 50% off some food, and I'm gonna go ahead and get into making some Pokeyen today and hopefully provide you guys with some interesting content. So I'm gonna start off doing my gym run. I'm starting off with what, 44 mil to like 4 mil 70k, 4 mil 60k. I'm curious to see how much Pokeyen I can make today in a gym run. My gym runs are not that great because I'm not that practiced up, right? This definitely is something that mechanically, like, you practice every day, you get better and better and better. As silly as it would sound, right? But it really, every little micro detail, every heal that you can skip, every 30 seconds, it's very speed runny is how gym runs work. Every 30 seconds saved here and there can add up to an extra 13k, an extra 15k Pokeyen, like, very quickly, which is a lot. If you start adding on like 15k Pokeyen 3 times, well, that's an extra 45k to your run. That's a massive difference. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get cooking. Just work on this very simple gym run. If you want to, I do have a guide for this gym run strategy, an updated gym run stat if you want to check this out if you're interested. But I will see you guys most likely at the end of this. Oh, but what I was trying to get to is at the end. Sorry, excuse me, getting ahead of myself. At the end of the month, okay? I love doing, whenever I take a sponsorship from Factor or HelloFresh, which are sponsors that allow me to play the game that I love and don't interfere with that. Just kind of a side thing. At the end of the month, I always do a Streamathon. So based on how many Factor subs I get this month, I will open 5 Mysterious Great Ball 2023s per Factor sub, as well as I will stream for X amount of hours per Factor sub. So keep an eye out for that. That'll be at the end of the month in March. and I'm excited to save up mysterious balls until then, and then hopefully make enough Pokeyen to sustain this little March mysterious ball madness. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you're grinding some PokeMMO. Maybe you're doing your own gym run in the background. I recommend it. Waking up and get your gym run out of the way. Great way to start your day. A great way to start making progress in PokeMMO. I personally do gym runs during traveling. I have to travel almost 1 hour every day, so I manage to do gym runs plus trading. Dude, I think that's, if you like take a train. Also, something I always try to encourage, gym runs are just so, they're not the best Pokeyen per hour in the game, but they're very good Pokeyen per hour, usually being 300k plus Pokeyen per hour, as well as being like doable for pretty much every player. The team is very cheap nowadays. As long as you have 3 to 5 regions done, you can do it, right? And what's it called? I always try to encourage, like, you can split it up. So what I say is, like, if you have like 30 minutes before work and you want to play a little bit of PokeMMO, you can pop your amulet coin, do the first half of the gym run or first 20 minutes or whatever time you have, right? Do a little bit of your gym run at the start of your day, and then, like, let's say on lunch break you want to play PokeMMO for 15 minutes. Obviously you don't have to do this, but you could, right? Let's say you have like 25 minutes before work, 15 minutes in your lunch break. Oh god, I'm terrible at math. And then, like, like 20 minutes at the end of the day, right? Like, if you break it up like that, you just do that every day. You could do a gym run every day, 15 minutes of your gym run, because their amulet coin timer stops when you log out. So if you do like 15 minutes of your gym run at the start of the day, and then 15 minutes at lunch, and then like after work is over, you do the last 30 minutes. Well, now you're doing your gym run every day, like in between work and stuff. And I feel like that it can be very time efficient as long as you don't need to like log onto your account to play other things. You don't have to commit to a full 1 hour run to do your gym run, which I think is super under talked about, underutilized. Yeah, someone said I sold my first shiny. It was a Mankey in my first region before completing it, and I really regret it. I want my green monkey back. I always try to encourage players to not sell their first OT shiny, or at least think about it for a week or two, you know? If you just sleep on it, you can always sell your shiny like a week or two later. You don't have to sell it, and it's not gonna go down in value. It's fine, right? Like, I always recommend players to sleep on it and sit on it, because I think 99% of players who sell their first OT shiny go on to regret it. Like it's that high of a percentage, right? And you just go on to learn as you get better and better at PokeMMO. Pokeyen is easier to make, much easier to make. It's still hard, but much easier to make than a shiny, right? We were doing the math earlier, and someone got a secret shiny Staryu as their first shiny, right? And it's worth like 50 to 70 mil. And that's amazing. But when you do the math, that's a 4,000 hour shiny hunt, right? Which is insane. So the best way to shiny on Staryu is single encounter over at Route 13 in Unova. It's calculated on the screen right now, right? So it's like 40% chance at the best case scenario. At the best case scenario for a Staryu, it's only like at night times. You can't even do it all the time. But assuming the best case scenario, right? It's about 2.5 single encounter shinies per one shiny Staryu, which is about 250 hours per one shiny Staryu. You would take that number, multiply it by 16 for a secret shiny. That's a 4,000 hour hunt. Whereas I know 70 mil seems like a ton of Pokeyen for a new player, and it's a ton of Pokeyen just for any type of player. However, if you divide this by gym reruns every day, right? It's only 234 hours to make 70, or if you're doing other methods, it's like 234 million, or 234 hours to make 70 million Pokeyen versus 4,000 hours to hunt the Staryu. It's a massive difference. How do you see the Ditto market changing post-event season? This is a good question. So I'm kind of taking, I'm not going to answer your question directly because there's something else I want to talk about hilariously, so I apologize. Well, I guess it goes into it. What I think is really interesting, something that I underestimate and I don't factor in enough, and I notice this whenever I open mysterious balls. Well, factor in enough, hey, link in the description. So I don't factor in enough is mysterious ball Pokemon. I don't realize, I always say like alphas bring in so many 2x31s into the game, and that hurts the economy. Bro, I don't realize how many like 1x31s, 2x31s, 3x31s mysterious balls bring in. It's kind of insane. I end up with so many 1x, 2x, 3x 31 Pokemon from mysterious balls that I just end up, selling off or whatever for really, really cheap. And I think that also lowers the price. So there's just a lot of, especially during event season, especially, there's a lot of 1x31, good IV Pokemon that are introduced into the game not via catching, and they're introduced very, very quickly. So I'm hoping with mysterious ball season being over, event season being over, hopefully there's just less good IV Pokemon coming into the game. I think people open Mysterious Balls less outside of event season. Most people who are holding Mysterious Balls now are holding them for investments or something like that, right? They're not holding them to like gamble and open the same way they might during an event season. So hopefully with Mysterious Balls and event season being over, hopefully we see markets kind of stabilize, and hopefully we see 31 IV Dittos go up in price, because I was saying it yesterday, man, 31 attack IV Dittos. I think the Pokemon market is in there's a lot of good and a lot of positive things to talk about as well. It's not all negative, so don't go doom and gloom on me. But this is not a good state. 31 attack IV Dittos being 5,900 when Shittos are 5K, like a 1K difference. It's not good. That's not good at all. All right, the gym rerun is done, and it was not a good run from me. I messed up a ton. I was not very efficient. It was like the worst run possible, and I still made like 250K. Like, that's not great. You should be doing like 300K an hour, probably minimum for gym runs if you have 5 regions done like this, but that's okay. It happens. You got to get back into it. It's okay to be suboptimal. It's a big thing I try to encourage. Now let's head over to probably Kanto, I guess. I'm gonna do a few breeds for profit, like a handful of breeds for profit. And then after doing a few breeds for profit, I'm going to head over to my UT box. One of my favorite things to do in PokeMMO is going over to my UT box, picking up some Pokemon, and going and EV training them, XP training them, and making them usable. For those who don't know, UT is kind of an old word. It was a word used a lot like in 2013, 2015 PokeMMO. It just stands for untrained. So UTs are Pokemon that are like competitive ready. They just need to be EV trained, XP trained, usually moveset. They're usually good enough to be used in PvP, like this Adamant Scissor, for example. So I just have a lot of training to do on a lot of Pokemon. I love collecting things in my UT box. And yeah, I'm gonna do some breeds first. I do want to clean up my boxes, to be fair. I have 4 sell boxes yet again, which I don't like having. So maybe we sell off a few Pokemon first, honestly. Clear out our boxes a little bit. Okay, the thing that I want to breed for profit today, I've had a lot of success breeding these for profit in the past, but it can be really high risk, high reward. I am just going to immediately buy this. I'm glad I checked. Modest Charizard, 31 special attack. Are you seeing this? So I've had a lot of success in the past with hidden ability Charizards, Charmeleons, you know, whatever. Hidden ability Charizard line. You can have some really crazy success here. That was a really lucky find, I will say, off the bat. But I've had some crazy luck breeding these for profit, because they can be really high risk, high reward. I've done some breeds for these for like that cost like 250, 300K, and then sold for like 500-600K. But sometimes you know, do a breed for 300K and sell for 280. So let's see what we do. This costs 200K. It's already modest. This is beautiful, man. This is arguably like just EV train it. This is arguably like just flippable, or like you just EV train it and XP train it and then resell it. Like this might already just be there. Let's see what this would cost. Let's see. Modest. What if we just do 25 plus modest Charizard like this, and then do hidden ability access? Yes. The reason why this Pokemon is so good and so desired is because it's used for raids a lot of the time. It's used as a one of the main raid Pokemon, Solar Power Charizard, right? I might just flip this. I bought it for 200K. I think this is the easiest 320K sell. Well, not that much. Wait a minute. But like I bought it for 200. I'm pretty sure this is like a 100K flip. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sell that and just I don't even need to. Don't waste time breeding it. Just flip it, right? I'm gonna go claim a bunch of these stuff as well, putting my Pokeyen stack up to 4.8-ish mil. Beautiful. I want to buy at least one breed so I can hatch an egg while I sell off some stuff in my PC. It's really good to have eggs so you can multitask with stuff. Okay, what I'm about to do, this is either gonna be a market hack, and it's gonna be some of the freest Pokeyen I'll ever make, or it's gonna be a big risk and I'm gonna lose a fair bit of Pokeyen. Okay? I'm gonna go ahead and buy, should I buy all 3? I'm gonna buy 3 of these for 100K a piece. And then go buy fire ability patches, 3 of them for 150 or so, you know, K a piece. And then use the fire ability patches on the Zards. So it costs around 250K per Zard, okay? A little bit more. 250K per Zard. Now, if I can sell these for 300K a piece, because someone just wants to, you know, pick them up and have the raid mon ready, which is totally understandable. There might be some profit here. It's really, really risky. Let's see. Hidden ability. Yes, if I could sell, I might even go like 320 or so. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna try. I could just go 300 and just really. So 250 was the paid. How much is the fee if I sell them for 300k a piece? 15k. Let's try to go 315, I guess, per then. It's a very slim margin, but this is the kind of like market holes you can find sometimes. Like, this is a fair. Let's see how this goes. And then the cheapest Charizard that was left on the GTL with the stats that I bought these at was like 118k. So you probably do actually save some money to buy these ones if you need them ASAP. This is a quick little, what's the profit on this? Is it 50k profit per? I think it is, right? So that's 150k profit just for finding that little loophole in the market. If they sell, they may take a while. It's a risky one, but it's, you know, we'll see. Worst case scenario, maybe it's 150k or 100k profit or so, maybe like 80k after some like fail to sell or something like that. So we'll see, but that feels pretty solid there. Bro, the top market is actually unhinged. The cheapest Hitmontop, this is the cheapest Hitmontop available with Rapid Spin is 400k. That's so crazy. So it needs Rapid Spin, it needs Mach Punch. There's certain like egg moves this Pokemon like needs to be like competitively relevant. Obviously this is like a good comp as well, but it's shocking to me there's like no other available options. That's so insane, dude. This is probably a really quick breed, but I could probably make a little profit on this. 4,500 for an Adamant Scyther. Go ahead and pick that up. Go get myself a, what egg group is he? Bug, 31 attack. Let's go Bug, 31 attack. It's the cheapest thing in the world. I want to keep the 28 plus speed. This is 3,700. It's the cheapest thing in the world right now. Okay, so we got this little breed. This was plus Everstone on the Scyther. Let's calc how much this breed costed me. It was 4k, 5k-ish, plus 10k for the Scyther and Everstone. The Yanma is 14k for the Yanma plus brace. What's the math on that? 14k plus 10k, 24k, okay? 24k is the total cost of this breed. We already know it's profit because of 1 times 31 attack or speed Adamant Scyther is like 37k. Oh, I braced the wrong thing. Heck W. That's okay. We already know it's profit, but I'm curious to see how much it'll be. All right, so here's what it looks like. Should we pay the 5k to make it female? Probably. I'm going to roll the dice. I don't really care that much. But Adamant Nature, 31 attack, 25 plus speed. Yep, don't mind that. This cost me 24k to breed. Keep in mind. Let's go see minimum what I'll get for this. 25 plus Scyther. That's insane. I mean, this is high. I would say this is high. The next way, yeah. I would say I'm probably going to sell mine for like 40 to 50k. So like, that's a really quick 15 to 20k profit breed. I'm going to try. I need to start using the auto sort function in the boxes. It's so good. So I'm going to go gender egg group on all of my like sell boxes, like gender egg group. And this will help me sell things much quicker in mass, right? So a lot of these are from the same, like mysterious balls and stuff like that as well. So let's just do jinxes maybe. Should I just do all my jinxes really quick? They're really cheap right now. I could just save them for when like, because they pop up sometimes like the Suicune raid. They were super good. They became really expensive all of a sudden. But let's do this, for example. 31. This is a lot more stats. But let's do like a 31 attack mineral egg group, right? If we just go see how many 31 attack mineral egg group mons we have. When you're mass listing like this, you could go check like one, you know, we have a few, right? This one, we don't have that many to be fair, but this is a good example. This is just a mineral 31 attack. So you could go ahead and go check 31 and you could just mass list them all for like the 2k. God, it's so cheap. That actually like hurts my heart to see that a 1 times. It's also like the attack stats probably the most important for the mineral egg group. How is it that bad? That actually hurts. But anyways, this one at least has other stats. All right, the Scyther came out. I'm going to go ahead and go like 50k on it. I feel like that's pretty fair. Very good Pokemon. Very, very desired Pokemon. Scizor is one of the most desired Pokemon in PokeMMO PvP. Not exactly an amazing, I mean, by any means. This is a fine beginner Scizor comp if you really wanted to use it for that. But I wouldn't recommend it. Someone's most likely just going to buy it to breed it, is the most likely customer. Yeah, and it already insta-sold, so there we go. We'll take, yeah, someone could buy it to breed, they could flip it. You can do a lot of things with that. It might actually finally be a good time to sell my Ammonites, because fossil Pokemon are kind of, fossils in general are a little more expensive. I have been sitting on, many of you asked me like about these. I use this as storage a lot of the times, and I've been sitting on these Ammonites forever because Ammonites just kind of flooded the market. This was like after some shiny war or something like that. So I just have been sitting on these forever because they went down to like 2K a piece, and I'd rather just save them, store them, and then wait for a time like this when they're worth a little more. And now I make like 1,000 Pokeyen more per Ammonite by just being a little patient and letting them sit, you know, in the GTL like that. So I do recommend doing this. If you don't need the, you know, if you're intermediate to like end game, it's better to just wait sometimes to have patience. I think this is a hyper under talked about money making method that is really, really strange. I think you could buy certain baby Pokemon, right? Evolve them and then sell them for their breeder price, right? So here's a male Chaos Egg Group, 2x31 HP and special defense, you know, egg group Pokemon, right? But then if you search for a Chingling, which is a baby Pokemon that evolves into Chimetro, aka a Chaos Egg Group Pokemon, you can buy this one for 25k. It's been up for 13 days. Buy this for 25k, evolve it, sell it for 38k, right? Now you have to do this in mass. There's things like Tyrogue, where I'm curious how much, if there's profit margins. Tyrogues are they're kind of more on watch though. Things like Chinglings, other baby Pokemon like that are especially like ones that are gotten from Mysterious Balls. Chinglings come from Mysterious Balls, so I feel like that's why like there's a fair bit of them around. But that's kind of a crazy one to me. I think I would love to see someone like do more research into that money making method, because there could be something there, but it might not be super consistent long term. Alrighty, it is time for some EV training. We did a fair bit. We didn't do too much like box sorting or cleaning. We did a fair bit of Pokeyen making. So we have our Pikachu, which has Sweet Scent, Discharge, and Surf, so we can take out any hordes with that. And then I'll be EV training this Scizor, which is Adamant, and then 20 plus and all the stats that it needs. This Meowth. I got all of these just sitting in my UT boxes. I've acquired them over many different ways and reasons over the years. This Meowth, Anniversary Particle, or Kanto Friends Particle Effect over here. Is it Adamant Nature? Adamant Nature, 20 plus in some stats. We've got this Meowth, Adamant Nature, 25 plus in attack, 20 plus speed. Thank you for the resub. What's up? What's up? This Gyarados, which has already been speed EV trained but needs attack, 20 plus in every stat essentially, Adamant Nature. And then this Carvana, which is Naive Nature. And then actually, I'm sorry, the Carvana will actually switch out. This is meant to be a mixed Sharpedo, and I don't know the split on how much special attack and attack IVs or EVs it needs. So I'm actually just going to put the Carvana. We'll switch something out for the Carvana really quick. Here we go. This is perfect. We can do this this Ralts into a Gallade. I've wanted a good Gallade for a very long time, and I haven't had one, so this will be nice to get done. All right, now becomes the question of what spot do I want to go to? And I think for attack EVs at the moment, I normally go over to Arbok / Primeape over here to the west of, like, over on the way to the Kanto Elite Four. It's kind of out of the way, but it's good shinies that I don't have. If you want an easier times 5 horde spot, I recommend Nidorino is a fantastic one, right next to Fuchsia. Times 5 hordes, 10 attack EVs per thing. You don't need Leppas. It's a great shiny. Nidorino is fantastic. I already have a shiny Nidorino, so I try to dodge the spots where I already have a shiny. So I dodge Nidorino, I dodge Bouffalon. I already have that shiny. Look at this beautiful orangutan emoji. So that's what I do. Personally, I'm going to head over to this spot. And then instead of XP shares, I do have a XP amplifier, which I recommend getting like when you're late mid game or just at end game, late game. Because that is going to allow me to put Everstones on these Meowths so I don't accidentally evolve them. That's unironically one of the biggest benefits here is putting these on these Meowths so I don't accidentally evolve them, because that is one of the quickest ways to lose so much profit is to accidentally evolve your Meowth into Persians, which I have done a plethora of times. It's one of the most painful things in PokeMMO for sure. So let's head over to the spot. It's not too crazy far, but you do have to use Leppas. It's a bit of a ways, bit of a trek. But it's a cool spot. Shiny Arbok is beautiful. Shiny Primeape is pretty cool. I've really gotten a love for Primeape over the years. The fast businessman monkey. And let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's try to run some rough numbers. People ask me all the time, how big is PokeMMO? How many people actively play PokeMMO? And the honest answer is we don't know. We can only make like guesstimations based off of certain numbers, okay? One of the most common numbers I like to use, to be fair, it's like the worst, we'll do it in February. It's like the worst time to do it right now because this month of games just started. But checking how many but like, dude, we are 4 days into March, by the way. 4 days into March, there's been 54,000 matches played in OU. In OU alone. That's well over 10,000 games a day. And like I always say, like I think like how many people that play PokeMMO actually play OU PvP? 10%? I'd probably say 10%, right? Magmar has a 100% win rate. Yo, ban him. Busted. I feel like it's like 10 to 20% of players play PvP and play OU. OU is that, yeah, but it's crazy. Like, but like most players are probably just doing raids, people playing the storylines. Yeah, I think 25 to 50k daily players is probably a fair guess, but I don't know. It might be. I think the PokeMMO is much larger than people realize because it's a very international game, and we kind of don't always interact with everybody because of like language barriers, right? So let's say 54 divided by 4 is around 13,000 games a day. Let's say that, let's go check February. February there was, and February should have been like a slow month for PvP, around 10,000. It seemed like around 10,000 games a day is pretty normal. A little bit more actually, probably closer to 12k. Yeah, this is January. December was 431,000 OU games. That's insane. Like, we're seeing about 12 to 500,000 OU games played in October of 2024. We're seeing about, let's just say 12,500, probably more than that. Probably like, let's say 12,500 OU games per day. That's so insane. If you want to run the math and say that 10% of players play PvP, and if those players play, you know, 3 games a day, right? Assuming for all, you know, all OU players, I feel like that's pretty fair. Even if we assume higher ends, I feel like you end up with like, what's the math on this? 1,200 per day. I'm doing some rough math or rough guesstimations. I feel like you end up with something like 50,000 to 80,000, 50. Yeah, it's closer to 100k daily players. I agree. The math ends up being like closer to like 50k to 100k daily players, more than 25 to 50k. If it's 10%, yeah. If 10% of players are playing an OU game a day, one to 3 OU games a day or so, and this is like a low guesstimate, it's probably closer to like 15,000 games played a day, you know? For 10%, you know? I feel like you end up with, if we're lowballing, I feel like it's around 100k. I feel like PokeMMO probably has around 100k daily players. Maybe not, maybe not that much. What's old school RuneScape at? Like, old school RuneScape is seen as one of the largest MMOs out there. And I think they have, how many players does RuneScape right now has 117,000 concurrent players right now online. It wouldn't surprise me if PokeMMO has like 50 to 80,000. Like, I think PokeMMO is probably about 60%, maybe like anywhere from 40% to like 60% as big as old school RuneScape would be my guess. It's bigger than people realize, and OSRS is one of the most popular MMOs out there right now. It's pretty crazy, man. Here, someone asked, what should I do? It's one of the most, it's the most important question to answer in PokeMMO is, I just finished the game, what should I do now? I finished all the storylines. And I think PokeMMO is, this is the most difficult thing for PokeMMO to answer. And I would love the game to do better at answering, like having permanent raids, having something for players to go do at endgame while they think about it. The problem is, what happens in PokeMMO is a lot of players beat all 5 storylines, and then you're left with the question, what the fuck is endgame? What is it? What do I do? Right? And I try to answer that the best I can. The best thing I can do is show you 63 things to do in PokeMMO, which is a list of like different ideas and things to do. But the most important thing is converting your mentality, okay? PokeMMO is until you're done the storylines, it's a storyline game, right? It's a typical normal Pokemon game and a storyline game. But once you beat all 5 storyline games, it becomes, in my opinion, a sandbox game. And you kind of have to convert, you have to like change the way you think about the game and change the way you play the game. I compare PokeMMO to Minecraft all the time because they're very similar. You can play Minecraft forever if you have goals and ideas, things you want to build, things you want to collect, things you want to achieve, etc. It's a infinitely playable game. However, there's a reason why a lot of players get to the Ender Dragon, beat it, and then quit, or get full diamond and then get, quit, or get netherite, whatever, and then quit. A lot of people have like a thing in their head that is beating the game and they move on, which is totally okay if that's what you enjoy. But I do strongly encourage players to try to take that next step, but that next step is really, really hard. I would say that like the ideal situation is 10% of players who beat the storyline continue to play the game long term and make that next step to end game, right? I would argue right now only like 1% of players make that next step, and that is I think on average after players beat the storyline, you probably should lose 90% of your players. That's normal, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? How many of us, like when Pal World came out, played Pal World, beat up to a certain point and like moved on? There's nothing wrong with moving on from a game. I hate that people get like guilt tripped for like quitting. Like there's a difference between quitting and moving on, right? Video games used to be things like we have the Spyro soundtrack playing right now. Video games used to be, okay, you play a certain levels, you beat the storyline, and then you move on. But all of a sudden now every game is trying to be like a live service game. So every game is infinite. And you can only play like so many infinite games, usually one, right? You can only play one Fortnite, one Minecraft, one old school RuneScape, one MMO, one PokeMMO, right? You can only give games so much attention. So for 90% of players, 90% of players probably should move on from PokeMMO after beating the storyline. That's totally normal. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm glad you enjoyed our game, right? It's a beautiful thing. However, I do want to up the conversion numbers, which I think the best way to do so is with permanent raids. Some sort of end game activity that players can go do while they think on their goals and while they decide what to do. I think a lot of players just have no direction once they beat the storylines, so you just log off and go, what do you do, The most important thing we can do for PokeMMO and for players is to help them figure out what to do next after beating the storylines. Anyways, I just finished my EV training for attack. So let's head over to speed. I'm either going to do Swellow. Swellow is a really cool Time Swipe Forward shiny. Either Swellow or Linoon. All right, here we go. This should be the last. I should be done with EVs now. Yep, beautiful. Done EV training. 2v2 attack, 2v2 speed on all Pokemon. The Gyarados was done early, so we just put it back in the boxes. The question becomes now, do I want to do some XP training and risk a shiny over here, or do I want to just go straight to, I don't know if I really feel like XP training today. I think I might just head back over to shiny hunting over at Sandslash for a little bit. And we can shake it up after that for a little bit, but we're almost at 65,000 encounters. We're about to hit that. Let's go throw everything back over into our UTs box, because they still need to be XP trained. But we're slowly working on things, which is good. Slowly chipping away at the UT box, getting more progress made in here, which is what I wanted to see. Dude, Menace just fucking yelled in chat. Bro just hit an egg shiny live. Bro just hit an egg shiny. He's always in stream, an absolute regular. Dude, congratulations, man. You've motivated me to go pop a few eggs, make a few eggs, because that dude, he said it's a shiny egg Rotom. Rotom is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful egg shiny, dude. 32 single encounters into an egg shiny. Dude, I would love to see it if you have a chance. Congrats. Oh, here it is. It's so fresh. It's so fresh. Look at this. 1 minute ago. 1 minute ago, dude. 1 minute. Dude, also, wait a minute. 20 plus in these three stats is actually a really good start to a breed. And it's... How did you randomly roll pretty good stats in nature on an egg? Holy crap. You could probably, in one breed, you could probably get 31 speed onto it, roll up the HP, hopefully, medium roll it, and then just like keep these and Everstone this. This is a perfect like beginner shiny Rotom. That's amazing, dude. Yeah, I think that's going to be the plan for the next Streamathon. We're talking about like everybody in chat all shiny hunting at the same spot and like seeing like who gets like how many live shinies can we see essentially. I think the next Streamathon, which is in correlation to the Factor sponsor, so if you want to support the next Streamathon, sub to Factor, link in the description, great food, and it supports the stream. The plan is, I think, it'll be at the end of the month, the end of March, essentially. I think what I'll do is it'll be an X hour stream. So if I get like 10 factor subs, like 10-hour stream, 8 factor subs, 8-hour stream, etc., 20, right? I want to hunt in one spot for the entire, maybe not the entire stream, but for a majority of it. It will all basically, like, everyone in my chat, I'll encourage people to come around and hunt at the same spot. And then for every single live shiny that I see, I think the goal is I'm going to have a prize box full of Pokemon, okay? I've already started to kind of coordinate. It only has one thing in it right now, but I'll throw a bunch of like other things in it. My goal is to throw a bunch of things in the prize box. And then every time, if you get a wild encounter shiny, I'll hop to your channel, check it out, and then when you catch it, I'll like roll a D60 or do like a 60-sided like spinning thing on like random.org or some shit, right? And you'll win a random Pokemon from the box. I think that's something I want to do. It'll help me get rid of like a lot of things. It helps me clear out my boxes and also give like some cool rewards, some good Pokeyen, Patrouski OTs, like all sorts of stuff. And it just encourages people to all shunt at the same spot, which would hopefully encourage people to get shinies, as well as just see. I'm really curious to see, because theoretically, if we just get 30 people, just 30 people, it's not even that many, right? We should get one shiny an hour. Imagine if we got like 100 people, right? If we got 100 people all shunting in the same spot, I'm really curious to see like how many like shiny sand slashes we could like bring into the game like all at once. Like, I feel like it could be very, very funny and very cool to see. All right, here we go, fellas. This is the final egg, the 10 alpha Voltorb eggs. I ended up doing 130 eggs. So we now do 586 plus 130, puts me up to 716. So I'm now 65,716 encounters dry, hoping that it's in the eggs. I mean, that would be a long shot, but it'd be my first ever egg shiny in PokeMMO. Would be a dream come true. I'm now going to head over to, I think, Sinnoh and go single encounter while I'm on Charm and just see what I can do. See if we can see something crazy today. Maybe I'll check some honey trees while we're at it. All right, this should be the last encounter, boys. Here it is. 6 seconds left in Charm. No shiny throughout the Charm. Most likely, we still have our eggs. I'm going to go switch my eggs. I'm going to switch my eggs and switch back over to Sandslash for the rest of the stream. Alrighty, fellas, I feel like that's where I've got to call it. Kind of a banger stream today. Just a quick 6.5-hour stream. Why not? I didn't get that many encounters today, but I also like did a bunch of single encountering. I did honey trees. I did some eggs. I did a lot of like Pokeyen making today. So nothing crazy, nothing amazing. No shiny today, boys. No shiny. We take one step every day, and then hopefully enough steps that, you know, just a few steps a day. Eventually, you should get there. Hopefully, we just keep it up. We keep going. And if you want to support the stream, show some love, motivate me to keep going, keep not giving up, keep shiny hunting, liking the video if you liked it helps out tremendously, subscribing on YouTube, following on Twitch. And then if you want to go above and beyond, this month, the best thing you can do is factor sub. If you want to get yourself some food, and it's the best way to support the stream. It's a total hack for smaller creators like myself and Spidget and all those guys who do them. They're insane. I really cannot thank people enough who hit up the Factor link in the description. You get awesome food at 50% off, and I do really love Factor as a product. I don't really take sponsorship for products I don't really believe in, but it's a great way to support the stream, the best way to support the stream by far. And at the end of the month, I will do a Streamathon, okay? I'll do a Streamathon for how many hours, for how many Factor subs I get, as well as probably giving away some Pokemon, which I don't do very often. I don't love doing giveaways. I don't want people following me just for giveaways, but if you made it to the end of the stream recap, you can come get some cool stuff, right? So giving away some Pokemon at the end of the month in the Streamathon, shiny hunting, opening mysterious balls, and I'm sure I'll just add more Factor incentives as we go on. Like if I get like 10 Factor subs, I'll buy something for the stream, like a smoke machine or a costume or something fun. So we'll create a list tomorrow. That should be fun with more Factor incentives. So just check it out, link in the description. Thank you for watching again. Thank you for your time. Have a great day. Good luck in your PokeMMO shiny hunts. Hopefully you're not 66k dry, or Arceus forbid, even drier. Best of luck to you, fellas. I'll see you guys later. Peace, Reno. Hey, thank you so very much for watching until the very end of the video. That means the world to me. And if your name is listed here, you're the reason I'm able to do this in the first place by going above and beyond and supporting the channel via YouTube memberships and Twitch Primes. Thank you so much. Have a great day.